Yo! Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my Instagram Live. How are you? Um, so I'm about to bring on my friend, Mitch Grassi, who you all know and love, and if you don't, you will know and love. Where's everyone tuning in from? And how are you? And what's new in your world? Thanks to those of you who are staying up. I know it's late wherever you are in Europe and stuff, so thank you. Okay, he's in here. Let's do it. Hey there. Caught you.
Oh,
Caught you in mid swallow on your
am I?
heartbreak laugh.
I've heard that a lot. Am I? Okay, now I'm better.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I'm better.
You're better now.
Hey,
Now you're
bitch.
better. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I actually feel really good and feel kind of light because I just did therapy. I don't know if you're kind of into that or not,
I
but
am. I do therapy.
it's really made a difference in my life and my world.
That's
I
great.
feel sad that I don't have any Christmas decorations. I just have a blank wall.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm at Patty's parents' house, and they put up some
Oh
shit
yeah,
up
you're in
there.
Tejas.
I am your favorite place. I'm in Arlington, Texas.
As much as I miss Arlington, I'm so happy to kind of not be there right now, but I do miss Nell and Mike.
Yes, totally. I'll tell them that you said hi when I go and hang out at your house
Okay.
unexpectedly.
What are you
Yeah.
gonna do there?
Well, I've been here for a couple days, and so far I've eaten only bad food.
Yeah, yeah.
All the good Texas terrible food. And what else have I done? I've been running a couple miles every day.
Oh, you better
And
work.
I feel good and light because of that and because of therapy. So it's
I
pretty good.
I truly don't know how people run. I have tried my entire life to get into it and it's so hard and so miserable.
Yeah, totally. It's something that I'm newly starting to love. I never did when I was a kid at all, and now I'm starting to enjoy it mostly because of this app that's called like Map My Run, and
Uh-huh.
I'm older now, and things like that excite me. You know, when you start getting older and things excite you that are like boring, like the Container Store. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah, of
Container Store.
course.
It's one
Oh,
of
the
those
Container
things.
Store.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
I
favorite place.
literally, my parents were like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "Honestly, I just need like drinking glasses. If you could just
Yeah.
send me a couple of those, I'll be set
Mm-hmm.
for life." Because we're
Totally.
domestic, you and I were domestic gals now. We're settling down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a cat. I've been researching kittens all day,
Mm-hmm.
and they've all been adopted. So at this point, I'm kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
is it the right time or
Yeah, they've all been adopted. There are no cats left for you to take. Literally all of them have been adopted.
there are
So you
none.
can't.
There are none
Sorry.
in the LA area, but I guess that's a good thing because they all have homes.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, let me tell you, I love living with a cat. I am this cat's stepdad since Patty moved in. So yeah, it's pretty great. Her name is Franny, and Patty gets jealous because she loves me more than her. So
Who's the bio dad?
I don't know. Um,
Okay.
hopefully a cat, I would assume.
Well, you never know. With Patty, you never know.
You never know.
Um, I miss you.
I miss you. So you're in LA. Are you in your new humble abode?
I am. This is me, baby.
There it is. It's
Do you
just
love
that
it? Isn't
wall.
it
That's
beautiful?
it. Yeah, that's
It's
great.
just a wall, but it's been good. I've realized that I'm one of the only people in LA and maybe I want to say the entire world that's actually like being responsible about staying home.
Yeah, totally.
Most people are like, I'm sick of it. I'm gonna go out. I'll wear a
Hmm.
mask. But a lot of
Hmm.
people aren't wearing masks. And I'm like, okay, wait, have I been being too crazy? Like, is it
Right?
okay to leave?
Yeah, that's the I think that's the question really. It's like I think you got to do whatever is maybe best for you, even if other people don't agree. I mean, it's so hard to know, because also there's just so much like misinformation. You know, it's like one
I
day you hear
know.
this, and then the next day you hear this, and it's like, well, you can't do that, but you can do this, and
I
then you're just
know.
like, so I don't know. It's very mind blowing, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about was this year,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's been an absolutely insane year, and I know we talked a little bit about it when we went to go get lunch at that very nice vegan restaurant, and you got chickpea uh, clove essence
Chickpea clove essence.
salad, or what I forgot what you did, but I got a vegetable mole, and
Yeah.
it was very good. So thank you for taking me there.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it was so good. I love that place.
Yeah, totally.
Um, yeah, I mean, I just remember going there and feeling like the world is really in shambles, and being in public is
Yeah.
so beyond bizarre,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
wonder when it's going to end. I am an anti-vaxxer. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that.
Are
But I
you or are
am,
you not?
no, 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 I'm not an
Oh,
anti-vaxxer at all.
yeah.
But I will say that I am nervous about getting a vaccine because
You don't want to
obviously
get microchipped?
I don't want to get microchip.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they threw it together in like 3 months. So it's like, I
Yeah,
don't want to,
I know.
I
It's
don't want my skin to melt.
but like given the choice, if someone said you can do this right now, like on the spot, like if someone, I actually sent someone to your house, they're going to be knocking on your door with a vaccine in just a few
That's
minutes.
so
I had that
scary.
arranged.
Can I be honest? That's what I was worried about. Like the government's gonna come to my house and make me take the vaccine or else kill me
They're going
for
to hold
being
you
gay.
down. And they're going to say, you're going to take it.
Yeah. So I
The
can be a
vaccine.
slave to capitalism. I'm already a slave to capitalism.
Kind of. You totally are. So, yeah.
We both
How's
are.
that feel? Is that nice?
No, it's actually pretty soul crushing, but that is the world that we live in, and so we kind of have to run with it
Mm-hmm.
until, I don't know, we get really rich.
Yeah, right. I was gonna ask you if you are sick of Christmas yet.
No,
You're
I
not.
was just thinking about this actually.
Hmm. Hmm.
I, and I hate to say it, but I need a little Christmas.
Right
Not to
this very
plug the
minute.
album. Yeah,
Hmm.
with like
Candles and
candles and
like,
um
yeah.
I've been so devoid of Christmas cheer, even though I am a part of a Christmas band.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but it's so relaxing just to
Mm.
kind of feel like I'm home with family
Yeah.
and feel like there's a little bit of like a change in my day-to-day routine.
Hmm. Sure.
Because I've just been here doing nothing and going to bed at 9 p.m. every night.
9 p.m.
I mean, around there. It's either like 9:30, 10, or 11. Just
What
because
is
I'm like,
your bedtime ritual? Like, do you have one? Do you do this and then get into bed, or do you just kind of go to bed whenever?
so my bedtime ritual.
Hmm.
If I'm not spiraling,
Right.
I will I'll do my skincare routine.
Hmm.
I'll take some magnesium because it
Mm.
makes you sleepy and calm.
Yes.
I'll probably maybe do some online shopping, maybe watch some YouTube videos,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
I'll put on white noise, and then I'll
Mm.
turn off the lights and I'll go to bed.
That's pretty good. That's nice. I definitely I know all about magnesium.
Do you?
I'm a fan. I went to, was it last year when I was in Australia? I got hip to magnesium
Yeah, yeah.
because it's like a thing there, and everybody takes magnesium showers and they rub it all over their private areas, and that's all really. So
Did you
I was like,
try
oh, yeah, I did in the middle of the street. I just took all my clothes off and poured magnesium
it?
all over
Yeah.
my body.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a different
that's
place over there for sure.
yeah, it is. It's you can just do that there. I think. Well, I did. So
I hear it also makes you go number two.
right as you pour it on yourself, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's really embarrassing for me, but I
So,
just. All right, that's all I wanted to talk about, really. So I think we're
should
good.
we get off? I
I
mean, this
guess
was
so.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I was gonna bring up a few things that I remembered happening this year, and I'd love for you to comment on them. And I love your forehead.
Does it have to do with me?
Not necessarily. It just kind of has to do with like this year and
Yeah, yeah.
things like this is what I think. We've all been under the whole COVID blanket that we forgot about some other things that actually happened this year
Yeah.
that I was just reminded of because I went on the internet and said, what else happened in 2020? And then I was like, oh, yeah. And then I wanted to talk to you about all of those things.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, cool.
so, first is murder hornets. Do you remember the story about the murder hornets?
Yeah, so not to brag, but I was kind of hip to murder hornets before they kind of became mainstream.
Yeah, totally. You were always kind of before your time, for sure.
Well, and that's what they say, but I
Hmm.
remember seeing like these crazy Japanese hornets on the internet. I was like, oh my God, those are
Yeah.
massive. They're so big and so scary. I hope they never come to America. And
Hmm.
lo and behold, they were
Right.
introduced.
Isn't that crazy? How did you tell that was going to happen beforehand?
How did I know that was going to happen?
Yeah.
So it's weird to talk about, but so everybody in
Okay.
my family kind of has this weird, and we call it a gift.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Um,
right, right.
but it's specifically related to Asian insects.
Yes.
So anything, anytime there's kind of like there's like a percolation or a circulation,
Hmm.
mostly in
Or a
Asia,
demonstration.
or a demonstration,
Hmm.
we're gonna know about it.
Yes.
We're gonna be first responders.
Right.
Um, Now you may be asking, why didn't I warn the country about said hornets? And I think that's an amazing question. And I would
Yeah.
have to kind of rebut with,
Mm-hmm.
my gift isn't always 100% correct. And that's what you have to know about psychics, is that
Mm-hmm.
we get these messages left ear, right ear, left ear, and it's kind of,
Yeah.
it makes us really dizzy. So sometimes we get a little confused in the mix.
Yeah, it is. I share that same gift, so I understand.
Oh,
We're very gifted, me and you, in that sense.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess we are, but I just wanted to apologize to you in case you were stung.
I was stung, and
And
it
what was
hurt.
that like?
Well, it was a rush of euphoria at first up my right arm, started in my wrist, and then after that, it took a nosedive, Mitchell. It did. It
Yeah.
just went straight. I went straight down. I was spiraling, and I started having nightmares, and then I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I was at a carnival, and there were clowns just ru- running around and screaming about how it's all a dream, and you just have to wake up.
Okay, so what you're saying is you were stung by a murder hornet and
Mhm.
felt really sick, went to bed, and then you woke up and somehow the venom had transported you to a carnival.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically what happened. I don't know if everyone has that
It
experience when they're
warped you
stung,
to the
but
carnival.
it warped me
Yeah.
basically. And then I was on the Vans Warped tour after that.
Who did you play with?
Uh, no FX.
That's cool.
It's really fun.
Oh wait, what year were you there?
1994?
94. Wait, sorry, I have to kind of go back in my Rolodex because I've been
Yeah,
there a lot. I
yeah.
think that was the year I was with Never Shout Never. But I was kind of doing
Mm.
have you ever seen those like electronic drum machines? It's like not real drums, but it's like the gray pads.
Yeah, I
So
have.
I was kind of back there doing my thing, and I had this I mean, the longest hair and a headband, and you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have recognized me, but
No, I probably wouldn't have.
but you know what they say as a musician, it's just such a journey. It's such a journey, and it never
Yeah.
ends.
And you just are committed to extremes. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. And isn't that such a metaphor for life? Sometimes you get stung by murder hornets. Sometimes a plague happens and you're alive to, be under the blanket of it. It's very similar to being a musician because things just happen to you. So I kind of figured all of this would happen this year just because I'm a musician and
And
Mitch,
because
you
of
can
your
relate.
gift, of
And
course.
because of my gift, yeah. Basically, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Circling back, I was gonna ask how you feel about Grimes and Elon Musk having a baby named XAEA hyphen 12.
Okay. So, my thoughts on Grimes and Elon
Yes.
Musk.
Hmm.
Um, I am, and I will say, terrified of Elon Musk. Something
Right.
about him just doesn't sit right with me.
Hmm.
Now, do I own an EV? Yeah, I do.
Right.
Now, Grimes, I'm just curious as to I'm curious as to where the etymology of the name arrived from and what the kind of like did they actually have a baby as a publicity stunt is what I want to know.
Right. Hmm.
What do you think?
Um, maybe. I just think that the fact that they together had a baby in whatever capacity and for whatever reason was very interesting. I did not realize that they were a thing. In fact, I don't really know Grimes that well. Do you? Do you listen to Grimes?
Well, what's weird is that I've known about Grimes for a while. I mean, she was
Right?
like like
The dance floor.
queen of the dance floor, and she was queen of like
Yeah.
2010, 2011, like Urban Outfitters core, and she
Right.
was like our fearless hipster leader, kind of taking us into the new generation,
Yeah,
and
totally.
we praised her for that.
Yes, we did.
Now, I never would have thought in my wildest dreams
Hmm.
that Grimes would copulate with a billionaire.
That's true.
But I have to say I'm proud of her for securing the bag.
Right.
Um, but let's see how it goes. I mean, hopefully they're kind of in a healthy place with their relationship. I've
Yeah.
heard that all he does is work and he has no time for anything else. So
Hmm.
maybe she's just like a single mom now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe so. But the name, what would you name your kid if you had a kid? Would you name it a regular human name or would you have symbols and digits? I'm very curious. Have you thought about this?
If I had a kid, um I would give my child probably like a really beautiful kind of like sorry, I'm reading these comments.
Me too. I'm trying not to.
I would give my child kind of like an old Victorian name, like Alistair, or
Ah,
like like tuberculosis,
that's a great name. Yeah, I
or
like that name.
Maud.
Maud. What would
Yeah,
the last name be following Maud?
the last name following Maud. Well, it would just be my
Oh, it
last
would just
name.
be Maud.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she's
Right.
probably just going to be one. Oh, they, excuse me,
Right.
because
Right.
Maud can be.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, exactly.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Now, Maud is destined to be a star. So we're not going to give Maud a last name, is what
Okay.
I'm trying to get at.
Right. Yeah, like Sting or Madonna or I'm not even gonna say it.
Or like Messer,
Or Messer.
or
Um,
um, like Grimes,
like
honestly.
Grimes. Speaking of Messer, so I tweeted that photo of us from Claire's a long time ago where you were the after the Tin Man when you were the Tin Man at that show,
Yeah.
and someone tweeted, "You've always been Messer,"
Oh,
and
yeah, I saw that.
it made me laugh a lot, and I liked that. I thought that was
It's
very
kind
good
of sweet.
because you have
It's kind
really
of true. It's kind of true
in
if you think about it.
maybe
And
that's what started.
that
Yeah,
picture, I wasn't even gay yet,
I
outwardly,
know,
which is kind of
right?
cool if you think about it.
It is pretty cool. It is cool. Do you ever think about stuff like that when you look back? You're like, I wasn't gay yet.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, that's why
Yeah,
I'm in therapy. I
sure.
mean, this year I feel like I stopped being afraid of being myself, which is kind of
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was because we were thrown into this new COVID world, this quarantine where
Yeah.
you have to kind of sit with yourself and face your own demons
Mm-hmm.
because there's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere to run. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yeah, like being super real, I completely agree with you. I think this year has forced definitely me, and I'm sure a lot of people, to really reevaluate their life and all their decisions. And a lot of stuff bubbles up during this year. Like COVID
Yeah.
has made the past bubble up, not because you just have time to sit alone and think. And maybe if you're go, 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 then you don't really think about things enough,
Yeah.
or you choose not to. But I don't know. How have you been mentally, like during this time? Have you struggled? And, I'm just curious. You've obviously slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I will say having some downtime at home instead of traveling has done wonders for my spirit and my
Mm-hmm.
brain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going to therapy has immensely changed my life.
Yeah.
And it's brought to the surface all the things that I need to work on and the things that I've been dealing with that I didn't really know I was dealing with yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now that I know all of these things,
Mm-hmm.
I it's kind of like, well, this happened, and now I have to deal with all these repercussions,
Yeah.
and now I have to work on moving forward and be the best that I can be. So in that
Mm-hmm.
way, I'm doing great.
That's great.
What about you?
Um, at first, I don't know. I didn't really know how to react. I think I was in denial for a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
just because all of my plans just got canceled like immediately, and it just took a second to kind of settle in. Like, no, this will come back, or like, just like I was supposed to go to Amsterdam and other things, and I had like basically a year's worth of things lined up, and they literally all went away, and that's never happened in my life. It's
Yeah,
just like I don't know. I don't know if this is real. I don't know. And then I think I went into shock, and then it all hit me, and then I don't know. I just didn't really know what to do with my time, which was really hard at first. Like I didn't have a schedule, and I was kind of used to having one, and so I kind of felt like I was free floating, and I definitely took a spiral. I would say I got borderline depressed for sure during this.
yeah,
I also, I was dealing with the death of my grandma,
that's
which
right.
which
Yeah,
happened this year, and then just kind of being trapped in LA. Like, I wasn't always trapped in LA. Like I would go and play a show somewhere, do something, and
right.
so that was weird to kind of be there, and it made me think of like when I first moved to LA and I had no money and I was stranded there and I never knew when I was like gonna get out of it, and it just like a lot of past stuff kind of came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I started going to therapy uh, before COVID, like a couple months before, and then I just started doing phone sessions the whole time, and just really getting in tune with myself, and
Mm.
learning about boundaries, which is pretty important,
So you were doing like phone calls or like
Yeah,
Zoom?
yeah, not
Oh,
Zoom.
okay.
I've just like literally just on the phone. What about you? Is your therapy on Zoom or?
I do Zoom. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like for some reason just a phone call would make me anxious. I like to
Mm-hmm.
be able to kind of look someone in the eye.
Yeah, sure,
But
sure.
you prefer the phone call?
Well, it's not. I don't even know if I prefer the phone call. It's
That's just
just
how it
that
went.
was what was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the option I was given. I was like, all right, well, I still would like to continue doing this. And I do you ever find that right before you do therapy, like you kind of don't know what you want to talk about sometimes, and then you realize by the end of the session you had a lot to talk about,
Oh
and you have
yeah.
no idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I'll look at the clock and I'm like, okay, I have 20 more minutes and I feel like I
Hmm.
got it all out, but then I'll think of something little that's related to what I was just talking about, and then it all
Yeah.
comes spilling out. Because it's like, you might as well just get it out, even if it
Absolutely.
seems insignificant, because it
Hmm.
could start you on a roll to something else.
Right. Yeah, that's what I did. Like I would get nervous. I still kind of do sometimes before every call, and just because I know it's going to be intense. Like I don't know how intense it's going to be.
Yeah.
Some days are more intense than others, but I don't know. I'm proud of myself every time I do it, because it's not always easy, and especially the older you get and the more realized that whatever you're dealing with becomes, like as you become an adult you have more things on your plate, and
Yeah.
to confront those is a little bit harder to do than when you're like a kid and you live in this bubble and you're like, someone was mean to me. It's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
or I'm struggling financially, or this and that and this. Like now there's bigger issue, or I'm living through a pandemic and I don't
Yeah.
know how to act through it. I don't know how to be right now. Like
Yeah.
those are big topics for sure.
Absolutely. And you have to give yourself permission to, you just have to give yourself permission to sit in this circumstance and
Hmm.
recognize that, okay, everyone is going through this right now, and
Yeah.
this is a new thing to everyone on earth. So I don't
Hmm.
need to be so harsh on myself
Oh yeah.
because we're all trying to it's like we've been thrust into a parallel dimension. We're all trying to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. And,
Yep.
um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of like, weirdly, a lot of childhood
Hmm.
traumatic events came up during this time too
Right. Right.
that I have started to close the doors on, which
Yeah,
I'm
that's
very
great.
happy about because I think
That's great.
as an adult, I'm more able to deal with these things because I know the root cause of them,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and um, and it just allows me to move on and to grow. You know what I mean?
I totally do. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And I think just kind of on that topic, I think it's important to say, because just I'm looking at some of the comments, therapy is a good thing for
I was just gonna
sure.
say that.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's and someone said something about like how do I get more comfortable in therapy? You just keep going. It's
Yeah.
not always the most comfortable. No one, I don't think anyone goes in there feeling the most comfortable because you kind of have to, take a look at a mirror and like for yourself, inside, and that's not always the easiest thing for people to do. But
It's
yeah, I'm
also
I'm all for it.
it was hard for me to work with a therapist when I was younger because felt like I felt guilty about talking about myself for an hour. I was like, this
Wow.
person doesn't care for like about my fucking problems,
Do
but
you still feel that way in your
no,
position? No, like in
no,
an
not
interview
at
setting, you
all.
don't feel strange that you have to talk about yourself or people
Oh,
asking you questions.
in an interview, it's a little different because sometimes I
Right.
can tell that they don't give a shit, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care either. You're the one that asked, so
Right.
we're both here just working, so it's fine. It doesn't bother me that
Right.
much anymore.
Right.
But
Totally.
does that ever bother you? I feel like you would be really good at dealing with that.
Um. Yeah. Like okay, I've been doing some virtual gigs for some companies that have hired me and stuff, and even though this isn't like an interview thing, I'm like playing music and I'm supposed to entertain these people, and some of them are just talking to each other during the thing, and it that I'm just like maybe you don't give a shit or something, but then I realize like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
really this is about what you're doing and what you want to do, and also like it's very different performing over Zoom than it is in person, and stuff, and you just do it because you love it. But on the interview front, um, I don't mind. I don't know. I don't feel. I definitely feel weird like talking about myself in certain situations. Like people are like, "And what did you write this song about?" And this and that, and they ask the same questions. I always feel like I have to come up with new answers
Hmm.
because I just said what I, was already going to say to somebody else or something, and then I get in my head about it, and I'm like, "You have to come up with the most brilliant, clever answer," and then I'm just like, "Just talk,
Yeah.
just be honest," and like I don't know. Sometimes that feels strange, I guess.
It's
Maybe.
uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because I've felt that before where I get asked the same questions a lot and it makes
Hmm.
you I don't know, you can get a little self-conscious because you're like, well, I've already said this. Are people going to think like I don't have
Right.
much to say is what it comes
Hmm.
down to, I think. But I think as long as you're talking from an authentic place, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
2021, we're not going to worry about what people have to say about us.
No, I've definitely been feeling a lot better about stuff like that. Like, I was going to ask you, kind of, what are some breakthroughs that you've had this year, and then I was going to talk about maybe some of mine as well. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to know what happened for you.
Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really came down to reprioritizing, well, not even reprioritizing,
Mm.
realizing what I wanted to prioritize
Hmm.
in my life
Yeah.
because we only have one and it's so short.
Hmm.
And really meditating on what really fulfills me and makes me happy. And
Hmm.
that is creating music and making my own music and feeling like
Yeah.
I'm contributing something to the world,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
if it's me working with someone else, because it usually is. It
Right.
doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm just happy to be a part of something that I
Hmm.
believe in.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and um, I think also the quarantine made me, and therapy made me realize how resilient I have become as a young adult.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and I'm proud of that. And
Yeah.
I think you should be too, because I think you're very
Thank you.
resilient. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Well, yeah, I've definitely noticed that with you. And, again, because we've known each other for so long, we've seen each other grow in so many ways, even from afar. And I think that's a pretty special thing to have that kind of awareness and connection with someone that you've known for quite a long time now and
Yeah.
seen the changes, in them and in their lives and stuff. Yeah, I would agree. I've seen a lot of resilience in you, really from this whole Messer project. I think
Oh, thanks.
I think that just that alone um, is, it takes a lot to become who you really are, authentically,
Yeah.
and to show the world, what you really, what's coming from your heart, and it changes all the time. So you got to capture it when it's happening. And
Yeah.
I've been listening to some of the songs. I've been fortunate enough to hear some of them before they're out because we've been, trading songs back and forth that aren't out and stuff. And uh, I love it all, and I still listen to it all the time, and I'm excited for more of those songs to come out, and
Thank
just
you.
to see where that journey takes you. Especially because it's all you, baby.
It's
You
just
know,
me.
it's just you, and yeah, that's pretty. That's a great thing. I talk about resilience a lot in therapy. I've learned to become more resilient.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
cool.
topic that comes up a lot because I didn't realize that I've kind of always been resilient, and I didn't really know that I was. I didn't know the phrase or something. I just, like, I realized, and I'm not ever very. I never say I'm proud of myself. I struggle with that
Yeah.
sometimes because I'm always thinking about the next thing.
Yeah,
But
of course.
yeah, I did realize, like, oh, you well, started putting out music this year, really for the first time, kind of ever. Like, I dropped an EP in 2016 that was acoustic, and I did it in a friend's like basement or something, and but it wasn't fully realized, like it wasn't fully produced, and it didn't have all the things that I wanted it to have. And I started doing that more this year and working with somebody who, I really trust as a producer and who's been a friend for a long time. But
Yeah.
starting to put that music out, I was so nervous. I didn't even realize for so long, and I think we may have talked about
Yeah,
this
we did.
before. Yeah, just like I didn't realize how, like, nervous I was to actually put out my own art. And I just thought you're brave if you get on stage. If you just sing and perform, that means you're brave. And it's like, that's a part of it, yeah, but there's a whole other bravery that's like, you have to say what you feel and then put it out there
Yeah.
for the world. And that is a scary thing. Not a lot of people do it. And rightly so. I mean, because it can be very scary. And I think that's one thing that I've noticed, that we share kind of right now, is like, you're starting to put out your own project. I've started to put out my own music, and it feels so much better now that it's out. Like, I feel like a
Yeah.
weight has been lifted that I've been carrying for years, and I didn't even know. Like, that's one thing I haven't been resilient on, and I was like, all right, it's time to say what you want to say. Time to,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, just put it out, because what do you have to lose? And that's an artist's job, right? Like,
Yeah.
put it out there for people, and some people might love it, some people might not, but as long as you love it and you feel proud of it, like, show everybody,
That's all that matters. And my thing
Mhm.
is, you can always make more. Even if you put it
Yeah.
out and everyone thinks it sucks, which they won't because it's really good. I've heard your music and
Mm.
I love it and you sound
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Even if, even if mine gets bad reviews, it doesn't matter because you can
Right.
always, it's
Hmm.
coming from an authentic place. So you can always put out more and you can always work a little more and you're always going to progress if you're still
Right.
working toward it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I think realizing that there's space for everyone too in the
Hmm.
world and in the
Yes.
industry has really opened
Hmm.
my eyes.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and the good thing about having uh, friends and supporters is that they want to see you doing well. And there have been times in my creative journey, specifically in LA, which I guess I've been living in for almost 10 years now. There have been times where I thought people were very supportive, and then I realized they weren't, you know,
Yeah.
and or you start doing well and then they get upset that you're doing well because maybe they're not doing well in some certain thing, and it's all this like comparing and contrasting, and then it's like that shouldn't matter, because like you're saying, there's room for everybody. I want to see
Yeah.
everybody that I care about do well, and you
Yeah.
know, it doesn't matter if someone's got a million views on, or a million streams or whatever on a song, and you don't, or something like it, that shouldn't matter, because it's not a competition. Like, if we're going to get real deep, I would say the competition is with yourself,
Of
right?
course. Yeah, of
It
course.
always is, and it always has been, but people don't see that, or you don't realize that until later. It's really about you versus you.
Yeah. I think we both have had figures in our lives that
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep us small.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
sure.
getting rid of that dynamic
Mm-hmm.
and getting rid of that energy, it just has changed everything. It's opened us up
Mm-hmm.
completely, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally do, and I think there's a lot of people, and I think it's important for anybody listening who's like an artist or just wants to do what they want to do. There are a lot of people that will tell you you can't do something. It's because they can't imagine themselves doing it.
Yeah.
And that's really all it is. It's a projection, you know. Like, I think about that in terms of like, I don't know, these wonderful artists or writers like Bob Dylan or William Shakespeare or something. It's kind of insane the amount of prolific work that these people did, that sometimes people think that they didn't really do it all themselves.
Yeah.
That's because they can't imagine themselves doing all of that themselves. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So
exactly right. That's exactly
yeah,
right.
I think that's one thing I've started to really feel good about this year, is it's kind of like this realization of like, I can do whatever I want. I mean, like, I really can. It's not a dream, or it's not like a thing when you're a kid and you can, you everybody tells you you can do everything, but you really can't, or something. Like, I think you can. Like, I think,
Yeah.
but you have to realize that for yourself. It's not about other people telling you you can or you can't do something. It's not up to them. You know what I mean? It's really up to you.
What I've learned that too is that
Hmm.
you can't rely on anyone to give you what you want. You're the only one that can do it.
Yeah, and it can be scary too, to even kind of, if you struggle with that part of yourself. Like, I think every artist, and maybe you do too. Maybe we've talked about this. Is that you struggle with imposter syndrome a little bit.
Oh my
Um,
God, yeah.
to go like, who am I to do this? Who am I to write this song and say what I want to say and put this out there? Who am I to stand on a stage, and, or maybe I'm not as good as this person, or maybe whatever. It's like those voices are always there. I mean, I hear them more the further I go, and the more things that I want to do. I'm a little afraid to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's like when
Mm,
all the voices come back, and there have been a ton of those this
yeah.
year for me, especially putting a song out, or and even going, is it right to put a song out during a pandemic?
Yeah.
Is that selfish? Like, and then it's all about what feels good for you. I guess that's how life is supposed to be for
Yeah.
individuals. Whatever's good for you.
And I don't think there's anything selfish about putting forth your art into the world, even in a dark
Yeah,
time like this. I think it's
absolutely.
actually,
Hmm.
I think it's very welcomed, and I think most people are going to welcome it because they need kind of a respite, I guess,
Right.
from this hell on earth.
Yes, this definitely has been hell on earth for sure this year. I was going to ask you too. Um, where is it? Oh yeah. How did you feel about Kanye West saying that he was going to run for president?
I think it's a really bad idea.
Okay. Why?
Um, well, I don't know Mr. West, but it doesn't
Yes.
seem like he's in the proper state to run a country,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to need someone that is to get us
Mm-hmm.
back on track.
Right. Right. That's great. That is a great answer. Yeah. I did you watch the Joe Rogan podcast with him, or listen to
So
it?
I started to watch it, but
Mhm.
truthfully, I didn't know what he was talking about. So I stopped listening. I was like, I can't follow this.
Yeah, I totally. I watched it over the course of a day, and I took long breaks. Like, I would watch like 30 minutes and then take a break, and
Oh,
then watch
wow.
more. and I just kind of let it all hit me. And I will say, I think some of the points that he was attempting to make or like sort of made, I thought they were, some of them were really good, but it's like the way his brain works is so interesting, and
Yeah.
it's like sometimes I'm just like, could somebody like that run a country? It's just, and also, what type of person can run a country? I mean, think about right now you running a country. Like that's,
There's no way.
I just don't understand how anybody can really do it. And maybe that's the part, is like you just kind of learn as you go, just like in anything. I just can't, I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't know anything about working up to running a country or anything, nor would I ever want to, but it's just like, it's just too mind blowing. I don't know what type of person could do that, you know?
And I don't know. I do sense that Kanye wants to bring goodness into the world. I
Yeah,
can sense that in him. I don't really
yeah,
know enough about what the statements he's made or
right.
what he talks about on the podcast.
Sure, sure.
But it seems like he does a lot of deep thinking.
Definitely. Yeah, he's definitely a deep thinker. Another thing from this year was Tiger King. Did you watch Tiger
Oh
King?
yeah, of course.
Did you love it, or what was your takeaway?
I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was fascinating because I've run into personalities like Carol and
uh,
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. Yeah,
It's just so funny to watch. It's just a great people study. It
yeah,
was really upsetting too because they abused animals, but what did you
yeah.
think?
At first, I was like, I didn't really know what it was going to be about. I just saw everyone was tweeting about it and whatever, posting about it, and I was like, all right, I'll try this. And I kind of got hooked because, first of all, I've never seen any kind of docu-series documenting that specific subject with such interesting personalities all
Oh yeah.
together, and this untapped world of like roadside zoos in the, south or something. And we grew up here, and
Yeah.
I don't really remember there being any of those, but I did find out that Joe Exotic had a pet store in Arlington. Did you
That's
know?
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember what it was called?
It was called Pet Safari.
Where was that? It was in Arlington?
Apparently, yeah. I did some research on it because I was so blown away. I was like, I grew up here and I didn't know about it, but I think it was before our time.
Because I remember like a weird exotic animal store in Mansfield that like sold
Right.
monkeys and crazy shit.
That is right. I know, in Arlington, out of all places. It's
Yeah.
like, what are people selling monkeys here for?
No one in Arlington knows how to raise a monkey, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Would you ever want one, though?
A monkey?
Yes.
No, I'm scared of monkeys. I
They're
feel like
like,
they'll kill me.
yeah, they throw their poop at you too. So if you're not into that, then
Although I
maybe don't
have
have a.
I have been reading I have been reading a book about bonobos, which are like majorly horny chimps.
It's also a like a clothing company. I have
Yeah.
pants from
Yeah,
them.
yeah, they make jeans.
Yeah. Did the horny chimps or whatever make the jeans?
That's not a question for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought
That's a
since you're
question for
reading
the
the book.
CEO.
Okay, I'll call him. I have him on speed dial, so it's all
Okay,
good. Tell me
cool.
about this book.
So it's called Sex at Dawn, and apparently it's largely debated, but
Mm.
it's about like the evolutionary it's about the origin of human sexuality, and since
Ooh.
we're primates, they're relating it to studies they've done on chimps and gorillas and bonobos,
Yeah.
and basically they're saying like monogamy isn't real, like we're made to have a bunch of sexual partners.
Mm, mm.
But apparently a lot of it is kind of taken out of context and fudged a little bit. So I don't know.
Okay.
But I follow
Interesting.
up book to
Oh,
see what's popping.
that's great. Where did you hear about this book? Did somebody tell you about it?
I heard about it on a podcast. Maybe it
Mm.
was Joe Rogan actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you
Sounds
read
like
a book
something.
recently?
Have I read a book recently? Yeah, I kind of have had this problem where I've like been reading books, too many books at once, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like on my nightstand, I have like six books for all the different moods that I'm in. Basically, I'm like, oh, if I'm feeling like I need a self-help book, I've got this book by Wayne Dyer right here. if I'm feeling like I'm introspective and want to learn more about artistry, I'll have like How to Succeed in the New Music Business by Ari Herstand, or like I get too, I don't know. I haven't been, that's another thing. Like during COVID, I have not really been able to sit down and just read a book because my brain has been going and going. And just recently, I started to do that. But I think it's because um, I just was like trying to deal with too many things at once or something. But I started reading, uh, what is it? It's actually called How to Be a No Limit Person, and
Uh-huh.
it's
Love.
by Wayne Dyer. Who do you know about Wayne Dyer?
No.
I found out about him a couple years ago, and he has since passed away. But he was kind of like a spiritual guru. I don't even want to say guru because sometimes that gets like, oh, guru. He's not a guru. He's just a very intelligent person
Yeah.
who,
Been around the
I don't know.
block.
What's that?
Been around the block.
He's been around the block, definitely. And yeah, I've loved him for a long time. And like when I first started really listening to him and reading his books, it just kind of changed my life. And
Damn,
so
I
I'm
need to
reading.
read.
It's funny because it was written in the '70s, so it's got like a lot of like logo, like or link logo. It's got lingo.
I know
Lingo.
what
I'm
you mean.
sorry. It's got a logo on it that
What kind of
Um,
logo?
it's got no. It has like lingo, like and if a guy comes all up in your beeswax, you do this, and it's like
Yeah,
really
that's punk.
amazing. Yeah, it's pretty punk rock for sure. But it's like amazing because I wish I lived in the '70s. So I like reading books that were written from the '70s because I feel like I'm there when I'm like. But reading a self-help book from the '70s is very interesting, and I would
Yeah,
encourage everybody to do it.
I would love to read that.
Pretty fun.
Do
It's
you
pretty
find that
pretty
it's
fun.
dated at all?
Uh,
In terms
yeah.
of
Oh, the topics?
lessons? Yeah. Morals?
Not really. There's just like a couple things where like it gets really deep and it gets like really situational. And it's like, if you're at the bank and a man comes up to you and acts this way, this is how you deal with them at the bank. And I'm like, who cares
Cool.
about if you're at the bank or not? But I like reading it because it's like I still get the lessons, but it makes me laugh. Um, anyway, yeah, I
I
started
only have attention spans for documentaries and self-help books, truly. I can't
kind
do
of the
fiction
same.
anymore.
Did you read all the Harry Potter books?
No.
Were you into Harry Potter? Was that
I was
never like?
very into Harry Potter, but I only read
Okay.
1 through 4. I was obsessed with the movies more than anything, I think.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I just started watching all the movies again, like 2 nights ago. We're all just sitting in the living room, and yeah, we watched the first one, and then we finished the second one today, and I just got very nostalgic, especially being home here in Arlington where we
Oh
grew up,
yeah.
and like just like watching these movies and just constantly being reminded of the environment that you grew up in. It's a
Yeah.
very weird feeling, and I was going to ask you how you feel when you come home. Does that hit you? Do you avoid coming home, or do you like it? I'm very curious.
It's a tough question to answer.
Yeah.
I don't like going back to Arlington, no. I love
Mhm.
seeing my parents, I really do.
Sure, of
And my
course. Yeah.
sister and her family.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it does, like it reminds me of how sad I used to be.
Yeah,
And
sure, sure.
how sort of I hesitate to use the word brainwashed, but it's really all I knew, that type of society in Arlington. And
Yeah.
I was very like, oh, why do I feel like such an outsider? Well, it's because, you
Mm.
and I didn't really belong there. Um,
Mm.
but
Mm.
alternatively, it is fun to go back and be like, oh my God, this is such a
Mhm.
small town. It's just its own thing. Texas is
Yeah,
so bizarre, but it's still the same.
right.
It's cute to like drive to Starbucks
On Little Road,
on
I
Little
know.
Road.
That's the one. Oh my God. I feel like I had my heart broken many times at that Starbucks. Uh,
Why did we always go to Starbucks when we were having marital issues?
when we were married and we're having our marital
When you and
issues.
I were married, we loved to go to
Yes, that's right.
Starbucks.
I think it's just it's a good place to really hash it out, you know?
It
Um,
must have been. We must have felt something there.
must have. Yeah, I just remember throwing plates at you in that Starbucks, and we were fighting about
Yeah.
just not being able to relate to each other anymore. It was
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you are straight and I'm gay. I think that was kind of the
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
that
Yeah,
was where we butted heads, I would say, if
that
any
is where we
place.
butted heads.
And you still don't like that I'm gay. Just kidding.
I love that you're gay. I
And I
think,
love that I'm gay too, and I love that you're straight and
yes,
you love me for being gay. We need more people like that.
of course, of course. I have loved you since I met you, really, and I touched on before, well, probably in person, like because we experienced so many first emotions together because we grew up together. I didn't realize that I loved you. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know
Sweet.
until a little bit later. Like when you're friends and you're growing up together, you don't really know what that is yet. You're just like, I really like being around this person
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever, or like even doing stupid things like pulling a chair out from underneath you. That was that was out of love. And
Yeah.
also, I passed by Dottie Lynn Recreation Center today, where I guess that happened because it all came back to me, and I felt
Oh.
terrible. Like I
You
was like,
have to stop
I
feeling terrible.
I still kind of do. I still do.
It's in the
Just
past.
I know it is, but when you literally passed by the building and you didn't realize you were even on that road, and you're like, something happened in that
I
building, and I
get
was
it.
like,
I
oh
get it. I
yeah,
get it.
the trajectory of my friendship with you changed because of you.
Well, well, to be fair, I didn't even recognize the name when you said it. I must have suppressed it so deeply because it's
Good.
just so viscerally painful. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and it
It's
screws me my
truly
entire
not.
life up. Yeah, totally. Some people don't know. I feel like we'll get off it, but we were in a singing musical theater group together when we were kids, and somebody, and I won't name names, saw you coming to sit down on this chair and said, Dylan, pull the chair out from underneath him. And so I did, and you fell and you hurt yourself, and it was very, it just, okay, sorry, you go
I
ahead.
will say,
Uh-huh.
I don't blame you because you are a minor. It was the adult's fault who told you to do that.
It totally was the adults.
Sorry.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
was. It was. No, I agree. But anyway, I just yeah, I passed by that place today, and I was like, oh, my
That is our
heart.
little bit of trauma.
I was like, yeah, and
Um,
honestly, that's not terrible. When you, I mean, like in the
no.
long, like for talking about terrible trauma in like young people's friendships, like some people, like we were never. I don't know if we ever were like really, really mean to each other. I don't
No.
think so. I
I
know
don't
people
think
who were
mean.
really mean to you and really mean to me, but I don't believe
Yeah.
we were mean to each other.
No,
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think so either. I think we were both just emotional kids
Figuring it out. And I
figuring it
still
out.
feel that way sometimes.
Yeah, but now, uh,
Yeah.
now we have facial hair.
That's, well, you do.
Yeah, I guess
Actually,
I do.
can you grow a beard yet?
I haven't tried, and so I feel like it's not my look.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like it's not for me.
yeah, I tried like recently. I just let it grow, and like it's weird because I can't grow the fully realized like Chuck Norris thing, and I
Yeah,
don't think I'd look good with that, but part of me just wants to be able to do it.
I'm trying to picture it.
Oh, I was like, I didn't know what you were doing. Um,
I can't. I think. I mean, I definitely think if it was like a full beard, it would look good. But you do have a
maybe
youthful face underneath the
that.
beard,
Yes, yes.
which a lot
That
of men do.
is that a good. Do you think it looks better on men to kind of like look older and have a beard, or do you think it's more attractive on men to have like a young baby face and then have a beard?
I don't.
You know what I mean?
To be honest, I don't think I'm so gay that I love every type of man. So
Sure.
I don't think it's an issue. I also think it's great to always look young. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, of course. But isn't that, don't most people want to, even if they deny that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we
Right?
get Botox.
Yes, exactly.
Look
Have
at
you
my
ever had
look at
it?
that. Yeah, look at that. It
I
doesn't
don't
move.
believe you.
I swear to God.
Oh, you really? Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were being serious or not.
Oh, I have to do it. I get the
Does that
worst
hurt?
lines.
I have them too.
E yours, I like yours though. Mine like made my forehead red. It was so strange. It
Really?
does hurt. Yeah, it
Okay.
does
Yeah.
hurt, but it's beauty is pain, you know?
That's right. That is right. I remember one time that I was getting a haircut. this is very inappropriate that this guy who was cutting my hair did this, but he like took my shirt and like looked in it and was like, "Oh, you have some hair on your chest. That means that you're gonna go bald or something like that." And then he was like, "Oh, and also you might, just because you're a performer, you might want to get this cleared up, like the lines. So maybe go do some Botox or something." And I was so offended. Like I was offended, but almost like I kind of was in shock because it was funny that some random guy that cut my hair this one and only time was like telling me this. Like who the hell are you? And who does
What?
that? It was inappropriate.
Why
So
did
crazy.
why do adults, or they did back then, they felt the agency to like throw us around and like inspect us? So
Because
weird.
I think they're, because they do that in the way like they're inspecting themselves. I think it's all a
Yeah.
projection. And I think that's why everybody does that even still. Like, people want to tell you all the things they think are wrong with you
Yeah.
because really they think that's wrong with them. You
Of
know what I mean?
course. Ugh,
Hallelujah.
that is so disgusting.
It is.
A
Yeah,
grown man looking down your shirt.
yeah, it was very weird.
How old were you?
I mean, this was in LA, and it was early on, so I was probably like 19, maybe
Yeah,
20.
still, that's weird
But
as fuck.
it would be weird if anybody did that to you at any age. You know what
I
I
would be
mean? Like,
so mad.
yeah, like even if you know somebody really well and you're close with them, who does that? It's just very weird.
Wonder where he
Uh,
is now.
in hell, probably.
Probably in hell.
And that's some of my trauma that I'm working out in therapy, is that time that man did that to
And
me.
we all got it. We all
Yeah,
have
we
it.
all got it.
I just want to say we have 2 minutes left.
Oh shit. Okay. Great. Well,
So
what
we
I
don't
have
get
a
cut
couple
off.
of things. So we what?
So we don't get cut off. I just wanted
That's
to give
right.
you a
Yeah.
warning.
Okay, great. I was gonna ask you, and you can say like very briefly, what have you been doing to stay creative during this time besides just writing and recording your own music?
To stay creative, I've been listening to a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going on walks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Um, 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 oh God. I've been changing my inner dialogue, a positive inner dialogue,
That's good.
to kind of say, no, maybe this is not a bad idea. Maybe
Yeah.
you are actually amazing at this. That's the
Yes.
most vague thing I've ever said. But what about you?
Uh, Definitely listening to a lot of music that I never listened to before, and like going down the deep cuts, not just listening to like my favorite songs
Yeah, yeah.
by my favorite artists, like listening to B-sides or track number 4 that wasn't a hit, like after the hit, and like really trying to dissect them, maybe like on guitar or just, I don't know, I'm kind of just listening for like new things. But I guess that's what you're always doing as an
Yeah.
artist, is just like trying to listen for new things all the time, really.
Yeah. It's fun to go back and listen to your fave albums and like dissect them as a grown adult musician.
Yes, it's more fun. Yeah, because you come at it with more experience and you're like, oh, I get this now on a deeper level. And it's
Yeah,
so, I just want to eat it up. I love that feeling.
me too.
Um, since we probably have less than a minute, I'm assuming, thank you for doing this.
Of
It's
course.
always nice to catch up with you. And I'm glad we could talk about this crazy freaking fucking, I'm going to say fuck on my Instagram.
You have to say
Yeah,
fucking.
that was the nerdiest thing I've ever done.
I thought it
But
was cool as hell. Thank you for having me. I love
you're
you
welcome.
so much.
I love you too. Stay safe.
You too.
Wear a mask. Wear a condom. Wear a
I did.
shirt. Just that's right, everybody. That's all I wanted to say. Wanted to wrap that up by saying that.
That's a good note to end on.
It is. It is. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon. I'm here for a little while. But when I come back, we can go eat vegan food again.
Sounds amazing.
That
Text
sounds
me.
great. Okay, I will. All right. Well, I
Mwah.
love you.
Thanks for tuning
Thank
in,
you.
everyone.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, Bella.